12 early signs a relationship won't last. We've all been there before. You meet someone, hit it off, and start a relationship. But then, somewhere down the line, things start to go south. And before you know it, you're wondering if this is really the person you want to be with for the long haul. If you're in a relationship and wondering if it's going to last, pay attention to these 12 early signs. They might just help you save yourself some heartache down the road. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel because we upload new videos every day. Let's begin. Number 1. Lack of communication. One of the early signs that a relationship may not last is a lack of communication. If you find yourselves not communicating as much as you used to, or if there are topics that you avoid discussing, it could be a sign that your relationship is heading in a negative direction. In any relationship, open and honest communication is essential. Without it, problems can fester and resentment can grow. If you're not communicating with your partner, take some time to sit down and talk about what's going on. You may find that there are issues that need to be addressed in order to improve your relationship. Number 2. Lack of trust. When it comes to relationships, trust is everything. If you don't trust your partner, it's only a matter of time before the relationship starts to unravel. There are plenty of early signs that a relationship won't last, but lack of trust is one of the most common. If you're constantly worrying about what your partner is up to when you're not around, or if you don't feel like you can confide in them about anything, it's a sign that trust is lacking. Without trust, it's impossible to truly open yourself up to someone else. And without openness and vulnerability, relationships simply can't thrive. If you're already doubting whether or not your relationship will last, it might be time to have an honest conversation with your partner about where things are really at. Number 3. Controlling behavior. If your partner is constantly trying to control your behavior, it's a red flag that the relationship won't last. This kind of behavior usually stems from insecurity and a lack of trust, and it can be very destructive to a relationship. If you feel like you're constantly being micromanaged or criticized, it's time to have a serious talk with your partner about their expectations. Number 4. Resentment. When resentment builds up, it can lead to feelings of bitterness and anger. If you find yourself constantly dwelling on past wrongs or feeling like your partner doesn't appreciate you, these are red flags that the relationship may not be healthy. If you're feeling resentful, it's important to communicate with your partner about what's bothering you. If you're unable to work through your issues, it may be best to move on. Number 5. Refusal to compromise. In any relationship, there will be times when both partners need to compromise in order to make things work. However, if one partner is constantly refusing to compromise, if you find yourself always being the one to give in or do what your partner wants, it's time to have a talk. If they're unwilling to meet you halfway, it's likely that they're not fully invested in the relationship. Of course, there are always going to be disagreements in any relationship. But it's not sustainable in the long run if you're constantly feeling like you're the only one making an effort to keep things going. Number 6. Withdrawal from intimacy. There are many early signs that a relationship may not be lasting. One sign is when you or your partner gradually withdraw from intimacy. This can manifest in many ways, such as suddenly needing more alone time, being less interested in sex, or withdrawing compliments and affection. If you notice your partner pulling away, it's important to have an honest conversation about what's going on. Otherwise, the distance between you will only grow larger. Number 7. Criticism. One of the early signs that a relationship won't last is criticism. If you or your partner are constantly criticizing each other, it's a sign that you're not compatible. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and support. So if all you ever do is criticize each other, it's not likely to last. Number 8. Defensiveness. If your partner is always quick to point the finger when something goes wrong or gets defensive when you try to have a serious conversation, It's likely that they're not interested in resolving conflict in a constructive way. This kind of behavior can be a major red flag that the relationship isn't going to last. Number 9. Stonewalling. Stonewalling is when someone refuses to communicate or engage with their partner. It can be a way of shutting down the conversation and putting up a wall between the two of you. Sometimes stonewalling is caused by feeling overwhelmed or defensive, but it can also be a sign that someone isn't interested in the relationship anymore. If your partner starts stonewalling you, it's important to talk to them about it. Otherwise, the relationship may not be able to continue. Number 10. Disrespect. Disrespect is a major sign that a relationship won't last. This is a huge red flag if your partner regularly belittles or puts you down. This kind of behavior indicates that they don't respect you as an equal, and it's not healthy for either of you. Number 11. Dishonesty. Dishonesty is one of the biggest early signs that a relationship won't last. If your partner is constantly lying to you, it's a sign that they don't respect you or value your trust. A relationship built on lies is not a foundation for a lasting relationship. If you can't trust your partner, it's time to move on. Number 12. Abuse. Abuse is never okay. If your partner regularly puts you down, calls you names, threatens you, or physically harms you in any way, it's time to get out of the relationship. No one deserves to be treated that way, and it's not a sign of a healthy, lasting relationship. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking, subscribing, and clicking the bell icon.